It's the end of the year, and it's time to talk about my top 5 games of 2020. We're just gonna dive right in here. No need to ramble about current events, we've all heard enough of it. Anyway, my criteria for my top 5 is quite simple. Number 1, the game has to have been released this year. Duh, right? And number 2, it has to be a game I enjoyed playing. Now that sounds like what you'd expect, but there are a lot of games that strive for pursuing an artistic vision, like an interesting story or compelling set of characters, and the gameplay is just there on the side. By no means horrible, but it is just kind of there, just to move along the story. Case in point, my honorable mention this year goes to Haven. Now, Haven joined several other games that were unfortunately released all around the same time in December, so I haven't really been able to play it enough to really judge it or even put it in my top 5, but what I have played and seen is very good in terms of narrative and storytelling. It's a love story backed with some very good writing and dialogue in addition to some great voice acting. It's got some of the most believable relationship dialogue I've ever seen in a video game. It's not overplayed, but it's got its share of theatrics to make the story compelling enough to play. Unfortunately, I just haven't found the time to get into it. It's definitely worth a look if you're a fan of tighter focuses on story and character development rather than gameplay. Briefly mentioned that I have not finished every game on this list due to varying reasons, but each game easily makes their way into one of my typical first impressions videos. With that out of the way, let's get started. At number 5, we have Deep Rock Galactic. You guys know how I feel about multiplayer-only co-op games. I think a lot of them are just co-op to sell extra copies, and more often than not, they sport extremely shallow gameplay, especially in the co-op aspect, so that anyone at the bottom of the barrel can play them. You know, the lowest common denominator of person. Someone who just wants to turn their brain off and play a video game. Made to order rather than made to please. These co-op games have almost no staying power beyond a weekend, and for some reason they've just flooded the industry for years, ever since Resident Evil 5 and Left 4 Dead sold a bajillion copies combined, or somewhere around that much. Deep Rock Galactic is not another generic, shallow co-op game. In fact, it's a fantastic game. It's a game that is more fun with friends, yes, but it's got some great mechanics and teamwork-focused gameplay. In addition to being a game that is easy to pick up and play, it's also got a boatload of fun and interesting mechanics. The game is about completing an objective underground and then evacuating. The objective can range from defending harvesters, finding special types of minerals, or collecting items. Once the objective is complete, it's a mad dash to exit the level, and it's a ton of fun to run and gun as you escape from the hordes of creatures underground. It's super simple in concept, but the execution is really worth praising because all the classes are fun, really fun, and there's a sense of synergy between them. And everyone can find their favorite class easily at a first glance. Have a teammate that only wants to shoot things? Pick the gunner class. He's got a minigun. Do you have someone that always runs off from the group to scout and explore and doesn't want to hear shit from their slow-ass teammates? Pick the scout, that's me. You've also got an engineer and digger, which lend their own abilities to your team composition. The game also sports a good variety of content. It's got higher difficulties for groups who want a greater challenge, varied levels and mission design to keep things interesting, and what's more, you don't need a full group to complete a mission, because the game uses this lost concept called level scaling, meaning you don't have to buy 3 extra fucking copies just to complete a mission without queuing with random people. Speaking of which, the game features a solid matchmaking system, and I'm not sure about launch and early access, but my online experience has been issue-free and very snappy. Game's also got drop-in and drop-out co-op, which is very nice. Yes, it is a game that you should play with friends, and you might not get a whole lot out of it in the 4-player matchmaking system, unless you're really looking for a dedicated group of cool people. You know, it is a team-based, cooperative game with random people, and it is fun, but if you and your friends got $30 each for one game to play with each other this year, pick this one. It's got a healthy variety, the online play is perfect, progression is nice, more cosmetic focused, but there are those RPG elements to help you clear the higher difficulties, which are a blast to play, and the developers are still updating the game with brand new content. It was in early access for a while, and it's really helped flesh out the game at release and post-launch. Again, I hesitate to put games that are primarily enjoyed with friends on a list like this, but Deep Rock Galactic is so good, I'm adding it anyway, albeit at the bottom of the list at number 5. I always adhere to the notion that a multiplayer game should be fun with random people, not just friends. But if it's going for the fun with friends angle, it better be really damn fun, and Deep Rock Galactic is really damn fun. At number 4, we have Doom Eternal. Well, this game is pretty much mandatory on any top games list of 2020, for good reason. It's a great game. I covered Doom 2016 4 years ago, and I thought it was great. Unfortunately, I had little desire to finish it, as all the gameplay started to blend together and get very repetitive near the halfway point. This was compounded even more when I lost my save file. Doom Eternal is a much better game overall. The pacing is a lot better, the difficulty is better balanced, I can get my ass kicked on higher difficulties and actually enjoy it. The gunplay is better, enemy variety and placement is better, weapon variety is good, locations are varied. Damn, it's just better. There's not much to say. It's Doom. You run around and you shoot things. It's fun. It can get repetitive just like the original, as non-stop reading fighting to heavy metal does wear you down a bit. Thankfully, the game breaks things up with some fun platforming and problem-solving segments. The pacing could be fixed a little better, though. The tutorial segments are dumb and annoying, and I really wish they would just let you skip everything, including those little awkward animations where Doom Guy just holds something up to his head and just looks at it. It's like, come on, I want to keep playing the game. Also, I think they should just go balls to the wall with more enemy types and ideas that we haven't seen in the previous Doom games. Regardless, Doom Eternal is a great game worthy of much of its praise, and it's easily number 4 on my list. Number 3, Elderborn. Holy hell is this game fun. It's a somewhat short first-person melee combat game, but oh my god is it so damn satisfying to hit things in this game. Physics are on point, and attacks are satisfying. It's a game that isn't afraid to just let you have fun. You have 4 weapons, they all lend themselves well to the core gameplay. You have a large broadsword with fast, fun swings, a spear for ranged jabs, a giant fucking warhammer that just pulverizes everything in its path, and some sickles to allow for some fast slicing and dicing action. The game has a bit of that 80s metal fantasy aesthetic to it, complete with wailing guitars, a selection of crypt creatures to fight, and of course your muscly barbarian protagonist. There's not much to say, and this game really surprised the hell out of me for that reason. There are RPG elements for leveling up your character with some mechanics nicked from Dark Souls, but other than that, the combat is the main focus, and it's just very simple. It's super fun. You're not going to be doing any kind of character builds. It's seemingly short, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be long. It's well-paced and fun, constantly throwing new challenges through level variety, enemy types, and enemy placement. It can get repetitive, like Doom Eternal, but man, is it a good time to just go to town on the enemies in this game. I can easily see myself just turning this game on and playing the hell out of it after a long day of work when I'm just, you know, I just want a nice stress ball that isn't something like Dynasty Warriors. Something that has some real fun, visceral combat. It does suffer from just some fatigue in regards to the music. It's good music, but the metal over killing stuff just only goes so far for me. And sometimes I find myself muting the music to put on other tracks, such as Metal Gear Rising, which, oh my god, playing boss themes while hacking and slashing in this game is just it's complete bliss. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy to put it at number 3 because of it. It's just a really, really enjoyable game. Number 2, Project Wingman. Here's something that really flew under my radar, no pun intended. This is a game inspired by the Ace Combat series. Now, I just got into Ace Combat this year, and I absolutely adored Ace Combat 4 on the PlayStation 2. But I didn't really enjoy Ace Combat 5 to the same degree, because they started shoving in a lot of stupid anime bullshit in it. Rather than having enjoyable battle chatter, they decided to make everything overacted and over-exaggerated. It just really breaks the atmosphere the game's combat does incredibly well to build up. Apparently, I need to finish it and play Ace Combat 0 for the better experience. Anyway, getting back to the point, Project Wingman surpasses Ace Combat clones and comes out comparable to the great Ace Combat 4, even beating it out in some respects. The planes feel great, the weapons are awesome, and in some cases better and have more variety than Ace Combat 4. The combat feels just like you'd expect it to. There's that sense of familiarity and freshness with Project Wingman, and because you have a lot of the same controls you'd expect in a flying game, and everything controls really smoothly, while the game is still fly the plane and shoot stuff, I'm having a ton of fun with the story and the dialogue and everything in between, including the music. The voice acting is great too. Really sells the world they're trying to do here. And really everything just comes together here to enhance the package. It's just such a well put together game. You get that rush during combat when you're on a hot streak of shooting down planes and taking down ground targets. The games are kind of simplistic in a sense, but the control and adrenaline you get is so good that it's hard to really explain it. If you played flying games, whether it be back in the day on PC, the rare one on console, or in the arcade, you owe it to yourself to pick this one up, especially if you're a big fan of Ace Combat. Alright, now for number 1, the game I enjoyed the most this year. I'm going to get a lot of shit for this one, especially for putting it over Doom Eternal. My number 1 game of the year is...
Starfish inbound, 400 knots.
When that baby hits, we'll have 12 minutes max before the radio towers come back online. Our job is to knock out the AA guns and give our warbirds a clean shot. Let's take Perseus off the air.
That loosens some fillings. Light 'em up!
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Okay, I know, believe me. Look, last year, I really enjoyed the Modern Warfare reboot. I thought it was a pretty good spiritual successor to the first, and a good, rebound for the series after we've gotten so many, either a multiplayer-only game, or some mediocre ones like Ghost, or Infinite War, or Black Ops 3. We've just had a mediocrity streak with Call of Duty, and they've been starting to drop the single-player campaign. Now, Modern Warfare 2019 wasn't exactly what I wanted. It was a 4-hour game with very little replayability, and the value really came in from all the multiplayer modes. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War starts to bring it back to that golden era of Call of Duty games where you have a single player that is 67 hours long, that is non-stop adrenaline-pumping fun, or if it's not, it's... And honestly, this game has some great moments that have nothing to do with shooting other people. It's actually kind of cool, where you have to investigate and look at clues and solve puzzles. It's really weird for a Call of Duty game. You'd think that would be just awful, but it's not. It's amazing. You're a CIA operative, and you gotta do all this cool CIA shit, okay? You're like you glow in the dark, basically. It's awesome. But the main point I'm trying to get at here is that, as far as campaigns go, it's the best one since, God, Black Ops 2? And was released, what, like 6 years ago? It's ridiculous how good this game was. And, yeah, it kind of is a little forgettable in a sense that, it's... You're once you're done with it, you're done with it. You don't really take away anything from it. But at the same time, there are these moments, like, when I'm playing, and I just have this big shit-eating grin on my face. I'm in a helicopter just blasting Vietnamese infantry, and then I'm in Soviet Russia raiding a top-secret KGB base. It's just crazy. Like, the level variety, the gunplay is just superb. The way you just transitioned between everything. Pacing is the best part of this game, because one moment you're doing this and that, and, you might say, oh, just look at the Zoomer over here with his, ADHD playing this Call of Duty game. Of course he likes it. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I do like it. I do like it when the game keeps everything moving, and, like, you're never bored for 1 second in this game, and that's what I appreciate in a Call of Duty game. You're never bored for 1 second. Call of Duty Modern Warfare had that, but it was a little bit too scripted, and it just kind of killed the replay value because there was nothing else to do. Here, there's multiple endings at least, there's reasons to go back, there's optional mission objectives, there's a little bit more to get you to keep playing the game once you've finished it, and that's cool. Now, it's not on the same level as Black Ops 2. Now, that game had actually, some extra stuff in it that would make you want to replay it. And the pacing in that game was phenomenal, like, oh, I'm piloting a drone, oh, I'm back in time now, oh, this and that. The future stuff in that game was actually really fun, and, a lot of the future stuff in the more recent Call of Duty games has been kind of mediocre, and even when they go back, like in World War II, it's just a very boring, generic campaign, but this game was anything but boring, and that's why I gotta put it at number 1. I haven't even played the multiplayer yet. I haven't even played zombies. I haven't done any multiplayer anything yet. I got this game for $40, and I've already gotten my money's worth just from the campaign. I've had a blast, and it just sucks that I'm putting a Call of Duty game, like I'm in one mindset where it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm putting a Call of Duty game at number 1, but you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? It's my list. Fuck you. It's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Better than Doom Eternal. The Technical Miracle. Put that on a fucking box. Okay, that's about it. You know, great game. I have yet to play anything else, but, you know, I think the campaign is fun. It's, again, forgettable in some respects, but, you know, I can look back on it and think, you know what? I was never bored one time in the 7 hours I played it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. This has been a crazy year. We're going to be doing the top 5 worst games list. I don't know when that's coming out. Probably not by February. I'm going to try to get it out this month. I've been very busy with a lot of real-life stuff, and just, well, you know, that's its own can of worms. But podcast will still come out from time to time. I have one in the tube right now. I'm recording one this Sunday, so expect something regarding to that this month. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out. Have a great new year.